So, hi Anshuka. I wanted to ask you your questions. How did you start your yoga journey and how has it been for the last so many years?
So as a little child, I actually had asthma and bronchitis, and I always had a lot of respiratory, issues. So my mom is a yoga teacher, a yoga practitioner, and she always made me do pranayam, but she made it become very fun. She never told me I was doing yoga. So she would make me do all these different kind of breathing exercises, etc. So growing up, I always practiced it, but I didn't know that I was practicing, pranayam or a little part of the yogic lifestyle. Very recently, I'm a commercial pilot, and I was about to start flying with the airlines, and I got into a very, very bad near fatal bike accident, which led me to be medically unfit for a very long time. After that is when I started yoga therapy after physiotherapy, and I enjoyed it so much. And I got a yoga teacher's training, because when you go through some trauma where you're bedridden for almost a year, the physical trauma really heals, but it's the mental trauma, I think, that you just can't put a band-aid on or just have medication and just get better. So that was something I was working on every day, and that's when I was introduced to this beautiful world. I got a teacher's training. I got so interested in the philosophy, the asanas, and how it was benefiting me. And that's it. And then I realized that this is something that I need to do every single day. Like every single morning when I wake up, for me, yoga is just not about asana or not about breath work or not about meditation. There's 8 limbs of yoga. There's so much more. It's I know that you also practice this as a lifestyle. So I know you know better than anyone else what I mean. So every single day it's working on yourself. So I feel like the whole 8 limbs of yoga is something that I really treat as a philosophy for my own lifestyle, to understand, to be healthier, to be more holistic, to be more present. And that's what's really gotten me through. So this is where I am today after many years.
Yeah, well said. I have seen that most of the people who are very passionate about yoga, they have some background of some life-threatening something. This undying passion doesn't come without those kind of things that I have seen in most of the cases. Now, I have one question from one of our employees. Since most of us are working from home nowadays, and this is causing us a lot of mental stress. So, can you tell us some techniques while working or while taking short breaks between calls, which we can practice so that it will help us going through it?
Absolutely. So a few things that I understand is movement is very, very important. So just don't plateau, don't stagnate yourself. So even after, when you're working from home, and especially with your posture, bad posture can cause discomfort. Bad posture can also, stress and posture are the same thing. You will feel a lot of stress, and stress is just not physical stress. It will translate into mental stress as well. So a few things that I'm going to show you movement based. If you're somebody who sits on a chair, I'm going to do this sideways, and you're always on a desk, just push your chair back, fold your leg like this, and go forward. When you do this, you're going to feel the side of the leg that's on top, your buttocks stretch. You can do this on both sides. This is really, really good to help you to open the hips up. The twist that I was showing you, use a chair and twist. If you need to do a downward dog, hold on to the chair and push into a downward dog. This is also great for the shoulders. If you want something which is slightly higher, you can do it on a slightly higher chair. So when it comes to movement and just walk around, that's extremely important. Another thing to do is just breathing. So breath work, and when you hold your breath, kumbhaka, retention, it actually helps you to activate your parasympathetic nervous system. So think about that is causing you to stay calmer, which in turn brings the stress down. So something that I really enjoy doing is called box breathing. So I want you to visualize a square. What you can do is close your eyes, start at the bottom point of the square, inhale when you go up the square. Hold your breath in till you go to the opposite side of the square. Exhale when you come down the square. And again, don't inhale, don't exhale, suspend your breath till you come back. So what I do, I start with square equal sides of 3 seconds. So inhale 3, hold 3, exhale 3, suspend your breath for 3 seconds. You can do that for 3 rounds. Then you can do 3 rounds of 4 seconds. Then you can do 3 rounds of 5 seconds. So automatically your kumbhaka, which is your retention of your breath, keeps improving per cycle. So that if you're just mindful, even for a minute, automatically you will feel a little more better rested. Your stress levels really work with your hormones. So once your hormones are also balanced, all of this activates that parasympathetic nervous system, which helps you to calm down. So these are the 2 things that I definitely recommend. And of course, always hydrate, eat well. But more than that, movement, stretching in between long sessions of sitting at home, and breathing correctly.
It is said that people don't live years, they live the number of breaths. For example, the dog, he breathes very fast and he lives for 12 years. And human beings who breathe relatively slowly, they live longer. So we are well said about this. Now, another question that somebody has sent us is that you teach a lot of celebrities. So is there any difference when you teach them, and or something particular that you keep in mind while teaching them?
Yes and no. Every student, as a teacher, I feel that any kind of teacher, you cannot, you forget if you're teaching a celebrity, if you're teaching XYZ, it's the same thing. However, I do realize that celebrities, though, especially a lot of the celebrities in the movies, have an extremely erratic lifestyle, because they have crazy hours. They have to wake up at crazy times, and they always have, sometimes they have a specific goal that they need to achieve. So I will alter a few things for them, which means maybe I will do a high intensity yoga asana practice, but I will still stick to the traditional roots of not forgetting what the practice is about. So maybe that I will tweak a little, but apart from that, I truly believe that everybody's practice is different, because every individual is different. So sometimes when a student comes into a class, they don't want a high pace, that energy, they need something more calmer. Similarly, if I'm practicing in the morning, I will do a more refreshing or a more recharging practice, which is called your Surya Namaskar, for example. In the evening, we'll do a Chandra Namaskar. We will not do a Surya Namaskar, because you don't want to, at 8:30 or maybe at 8 o'clock in the evening, you can't do that, because then you won't be able to sleep well. So depending on those alterations, of course, as a teacher, there is really no difference apart from what goals they want to achieve.
Yeah, a lot of celebrities want to lose their weight very, very quickly. For example, their next movie is starting and they want to lose 10 kgs in maybe 2 weeks. I don't think it is healthy, but still they have to go. That is their professional hazard. They have to go through it.
Right.
So getting into my next question, there are many international celebrities who have got attracted towards yoga. Madonna is one of them. I know there's a very famous violinist. Maybe you know his name. His name was Yehudi Menuhin. So he was a violinist who got taught by B.K.S. Iyengar, my guru. So he got attracted to yoga long back in 60s. What is it that these international celebrities who have no Hindu or Indian culture background, they get them attracted to this kind of yoga?
I think the holistic approach of the lifestyle. I think holistic wellness and well-being is so important. And I truly believe, and I have seen the shift, that even though yoga has originated, the practice of yoga has originated from India, I feel that a lot of people, especially the millennials, especially Gen Z, and they all get attracted to what's going on in the West. So in one way, I'm extremely happy, because when people see that, then that's what they want to incorporate into their life a little more. But I have studied a lot of teachers' trainings in the West, and what I realize is that they go seeking for a holistic practice, because there is, earlier the people who didn't do yoga were just going to the gym, burning calories, looking amazing, but internally they were not at peace. And then when they found this practice, they realized that it's just not about a makeover on the outside. You can look beautiful on the outside, but it's what's inside that counts. And I realized that that's what they found with yoga. That's why I feel that the shift has happened, the holistic approach towards a lifestyle and your own well-being.
Yeah, but actually yoga is more to do with mental than physical. But initially, most people who get attracted to yoga, it is because of the physical benefits. Right. And then they slowly move on to the mental benefits.
Absolutely.
So a lot of people have been facing mental issues during this pandemic, and they are worried about when the next pandemic will hit. So basically, how do you build the mental strength by doing yoga?
So I feel, of course, mental strength is not something that is consistent every single day. You have to make that choice to be strong. And even with me, even though I've been practicing for a long time, even I have my days where sometimes, especially through this pandemic, because it's so new to all of us, we don't know what's going on, we don't know what's next. But what I realize is there are few things that you can, which are in your control. And I think a yoga practice makes you understand that, because it helps your hormones. Your hormones play so much of an importance to what your thoughts as well. So when your hormones are balanced, when you're working, your meditation is activating your parasympathetic nervous system. It's allowing you to think with a little more clarity. For example, I can be responsible to improve my immunity. I can eat well, I can sleep well. Again, sleep. A lot of people who eat well and then they just work out a lot, but they don't sleep well, then they wonder why they are stressed and they wonder why their body is not changing a certain way. So what this practice has taught me is that do whatever is in your control, and then you have to learn to detach. So like I said, there's a little more philosophy. I know you will understand, but for beginners to understand that it's also about detachment, to learn that. So what is in your control is what you focus on. So especially through these times, focus on your breath, focus on building immunity, focus on building a routine, sleep well, and then that's all is in your control, and then you just have to let go. So these are the things that I really helped, that in turn build a more mental strength.
Now, this brings me to the last of the questions that have been asked. Is yoga a way of life, or is it a physical exercise, or some mental well-being meditation kind of a technique?
Yoga is a holistic lifestyle for me. It is, and yes, those side effects are mental well-being. Even losing weight is a side effect, and all the goodness comes along with it. So yoga is something, I think when we when we translate yoga, we think yoga is about doing asanas or doing a headstand or doing something, doing a split or losing weight. But yoga is the 8 limbs of yoga, which is comprises of a lot of elements of being mindful, in tune, and focusing. It's mind, body, soul.
Yeah, well said. Thanks a lot, Anshuka, and over to Sanchali if she's there. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Anshuka, for answering all those questions. Thank you
Thank
very much,
you.
Mr. Agarwal, for taking us through these questions. And of course, the discussion was very enlightening.